आपको नहीं बुला रही थी, सुरिंदर को बुला रही थी। आप मत हिलो, आप तो बिल्कुल मत हिलो अब।
Once
A very good morning to all of you. I'm Dr. Swati Gupta and I'm Head COE Noida. On the behalf of my entire team, I welcome you all today for this awareness workshop. There are few hygiene checks that needs to be kept in mind. First of all, please keep your mics mute throughout the session. Secondly, if there is any comment or suggestion or any question, please put it on the chat box, though we will have a designated question hour session at the end of the session. And also, attendance come feedback link will be pasted on the chat box. So all those who have joined us through Gmeet and watching us live on YouTube, please make sure that you fill up your attendance come feedback form and then leave the session. So it is indeed a momentous occasion when we all have gathered here to learn more about multi-foundation course. This course carries the best of 3 sector skill councils. Therefore, it is very widely popular and it has been taken up by various schools. Though I will not delve much about this course because this has to be done by our excellent resource persons. But then I would also take this occasion to welcome Mr. Raj Gilda and Mr. Sanket Patil from Lender Hand Skill. Also, I would like to mention that under the leadership of Dr. Biswajit Saha, Skill Education and Training Director, this whole awareness workshop is being carried out. And now I think Sir will be joining us a little later. So I will request Mr. Sanket and first of all Mr. Gilda to say a few words, and then Mr. Sanket can take over with the presentation. Thank you.
Sure. Thank you, Mrs. Gupta, for a wonderful introduction. And it is a great pleasure for me and my colleague Sanket Patil to talk about multi-skill foundation course. And the significance cannot be overstated, specifically with the national education policy announced and how so much of a national education policy is talking about the spread of vocational education as well as doing things with your hands and being able to allowing students to explore what they want to do in that. So we are very thankful to Dr. Saha, his team, Mrs. Gupta here, and to share this awareness, the information about multi-skill foundation course, and will be available to help in any ways possible to implement this program in your school as well. Thank you, Sanket. If you can take it over, and I think there's some issue. Everybody is not on mute probably, and so we'll be happy to. Yes, Sanket, please go on.
Yeah. Thank you, Raj. Just want to check whether you were able to hear me and whether the screen is visible to all.
Yes.
Okay, thank you, Raj. Good morning, all. My name is Sanket, and I have been working with organization Lend Hand India. We work across 24 states. We support CBSE and few other state governments on the implementation of skill education courses in secondary and higher secondary schools. Very happy to be here today, and we will be discussing about multi-skill foundation course, which is being taught in 9th and 10th grade. To begin with the course, I think before sharing with you about a little bit more details about specifically about the course, I think it's very important to really understand why behind this particular course. And many of you might have seen some of these examples of people who have excelled in their careers. Like we have example that you can see here on the screen, Mr. Javed Habib, who is a very famous hairdresser, Mr. Vikas Khanna, who is the master chef, and Mr. Manish Malhotra, who is again world-renowned fashion designer. But I think apart from the fact that all of them have excelled and have been very successful in their career, there is something which is common between these 3 people. If you would like to take a guess about it, you can basically think about it and put it also in the chat box. But I would also like to share briefly about each one of them. If you look at Javed Habib's career, even before becoming hairdresser, he started his journey as a barber. and in fact learning hair cutting while he was just 16-year-old. Similar is the story also about Mr. Vikas Khanna. Before becoming master chef, he started as a cook, and all of that, the interest in cooking, he started learning cooking basically from the 14-year-old, when he was 14 years old. The third example that we have is again Manish Malhotra, who before becoming a fashion designer started with a small tailoring unit, and he started learning tailoring while he was also 21-year-old. What is common among all of this is that very early on in their age, they have discovered what they would like to do in their careers. And there is some exposure that has led to them going and excelling in those particular fields by starting early, in their age. So the question that we would like to, discuss is that how do we give such a foundational skills to our students so that they are able to also achieve greater heights in their career? They also have an exposure through which they are able to discover what they would like to accomplish in their lives. And the second most important question, which is also, as Mr. Raj Gildam mentioned, is the release of national education policy and the spirit with which the national education policy has been, has been conceptualized. How do we bring it in, in reality? So on that note, let's just quickly look at what does national education policy, has to say, especially about the skill education. If you see, there is a huge importance that has been given to the vocational education in national education policy. It's a close to 56-page document, but it has the mention of vocational education 76 times it has been mentioned. Overall, the emphasis is also on multidisciplinary and holistic learning. And the most important part is that from student perspective, it has been again and again mentioned that learning has to be enjoyable for the student, it has to be an engaging for the student, and it should be an integrated knowledge that we should be delivering it to the student. There should not be silos, there should not be compartments between the different subjects, but students should be able to connect what they are learning in a particular subject to the other subjects concepts that they are learning in, across the other subjects as well. So that's the holistic and multidisciplinary nature that has been highlighted in the national education policy. So on this backdrop of the national education policy, let's look at how multi-skill foundation course can help us to translate this vision of national education policy, but at the same time, how these features of multi-skill, multidisciplinary, holistic education are part of the multi-skill foundation course. At the same time, we also mentioned about learning being enjoyable for students and engaging for the students. So let's begin with that. And I would like to just invite you to a particular classroom of multi-skill foundation course, where if you can for a moment just become, once again, here is an opportunity for all of you to imagine yourself as a student. And now the pictures that you will be seeing on the screen, think about it that you are a student and whether you will be engaged in these activities, whether you will enjoy performing these activities when you were, in school. So here is the first picture that you can see here. Inside a classroom, students are learning about food processing, but not just with the books, not just the theory, they're actually performing these food processing related practicals in the groups. As you can see, the safety, there is a cap on their head, all of those are the hygiene, all of this is something that they're also learning while performing this activity. Now imagine yourself also as a student performing the gardening activities in the school. So this is a real school in Sikkim, and outside the school there is a small patch of land where these students are performing gardening activities as a part of multi-skill foundation course. What they are doing here is they are learning a particular concept of land cultivation, land preparation, and as a preparation for the taking the crop there. Here is another picture where you will see that often in science and the other subjects, we do teach students about the pesticides and the importance of organic pesticide. But the beauty of multi-skill foundation course is that here you will not be just reading about it, but you will be having a practical opportunity to prepare organic pesticide, to have a school garden where you can actually, use this. And through that, basically, have a lifelong memory of understanding what this organic pesticide actually is. Here is another picture of a student who is engaged and very concentrated in doing the electrical circuits. Similarly, if you are also having experience of teaching, you will have particularly traditionally, like we have a blackboard, we will have chalk, and we will have a circuit diagram through which we will explain students about the concepts of series circuits, parallel circuits, as a part of the physics. However, the beauty of again multi-skill foundation course is not just the chalks and the blackboard, but you have the real tools in the classroom, and that's where we believe that the learning by doing, which can really ensure the conceptual understanding of the student, and not just the not the rote learning. Here is another example of a student who is applying the skills that he has learned in multi-skill foundation course, and there is a huge scope for geographical customizations. So this particular area, geography, where there is a bamboo work which is very widely being done. So the students are applying the carpentry and the other woodwork skills that they have learned, and they are making these products which they will also learn to sell it in the communities and to the other students and teachers and their parents. Here is another example of a woodwork carpentry practicals being carried out by the students. Apart from this, there is also workshop and engineering units, which is a section within multi-skill foundation course. And student here is learning about how to operate the drilling machine. Health and hygiene, I think during the times of this pandemic, I think everyone has realized the importance of this. But also as a part of the curriculum of multi-skill foundation course, there is a separate unit on health and hygiene. And as a part of this, students learn about the basics of blood pressure measurement, balanced diet, nutrition. These are the concepts which are part of the curriculum. Here is another example of student practicing the blood pressure measurement there. Many of the rural schools do have some piece of land where there is opportunity again for students to practice the skills that they have learned. On this picture, one of the rural school in Maharashtra, where you see that the students are preparing a shed net, to have a school nursery, and where they can basically practice the gardening skills that they will be learning through multi-skill foundation course. These are the different tools that the students will learn to know about, and what will be the scientific names of these tools, how to apply, how to use these tools, how to take care of the safety during the application of these tools. There is an introduction to the two-wheeler, the basic curiosity of the student. Again, as you can see, most of these times students are outside of the classroom, in the in the corridors or in the school campus, and they are exploring and they are having their own learning journey here. This is an actual terrace garden which has been prepared by multi-skill students in one of the, again, rural school. As you can see from the pictures, the engagement of the student, and I would like to also again request all of you, just imagine yourself in the shoes of these students and how much fun and how much learning you can have through this. I think by giving you some glimpse into how fun and engaging this course can be, I would like to now bring your attention to some of the core takeaways, if we can say, from this particular session will be about why multi-skill foundation course. And I would like to give you just 5 reasons about why multi-skill foundation course is beneficial to the schools as well as for the students to make successful careers. So I think the first and the most important reason for starting multi-skill foundation course is that the course basically has been designed in such a way that the course covers certain fundamental essential skills among the 5 different sectors. There is a unit about gardening, nursery, and agriculture techniques where students learn about seed processing, fertilizers, animal feed. There is a separate another unit about personal health and hygiene, which includes blood group testing, blood pressure measurements. There is a third unit, which is workshop and engineering techniques, where students learn carpentry, construction, plumbing. These are the skills which are made part of the curriculum. The fourth unit is energy and environment, which includes skills like electrical wiring, different types of wirings, renewable energy, waste management. And the last unit which is there is the food processing techniques. And the idea behind having not just one specialized unit, but giving them the exposure of the multiple skills is that for this particular age group, students' choices about their career are often influenced by the parents or their peers or by the teachers. But how does a student of, like a 15-year-old or a 16-year-old student really deep down, think about what are the skills that they are good at. What are the skills where there can be career opportunities. And I think one of the most important way to give that exposure to the students is to, over the period of 2 years, is to expose them to these different skills through learning by doing, and then reflect on what area where they would like to specialize. And after 10th, when students have the option of specialization, they can think about their journey of these 2 years and then make an informed decision about what specialization they would like to do in 11th and 12th grade. And that's where we believe that there is, at the age of ninth grade, when the student is in ninth grade, instead of basically making a choice for these students by anybody else, I think the student should get the exposure, and then they should be making an informed choice after 10th about what they would like to pursue in their higher education. So this particular course, the number one reason for choosing this course is that there is an informed career choice that the student can make after going through this particular multi-skill foundation course. The second most important reason is, again, connecting it back to national education policy, that very specifically the national education policy mentions that by 2025 we would like to have 50% student, at least 50% students in India, to have an exposure to the skill education. Now, when we are spreading, trying to ensure the access of skill education among the so many options available, this particular course, multi-skill foundation course, has a history which goes back to 1986, where it began as a small innovation in the state of Maharashtra. But over the period of these last 30 years, there have been multiple independent assessments that have been carried out, where it has been shown that the students who have completed multi-skill foundation course have 3 times higher chances of starting their own business or getting an employment or pursuing technical higher education. We have also seen that whatever the students are learning in the course, they can apply it in their own communities, and through that they can generate certain revenues. So we see that on an average around 8,000 rupees to 10,000 rupees of revenue which is generated by the students through the concept of community work, which basically means an application of the learning that they have had in the course in the real life situation. And that's again the entrepreneurial skills that is being developed through this course. So the second most important reason for choosing multi-skill foundation course is that it has a proven impact over the period of last many years, and right now close to 700 schools across the country are implementing multi-skill foundation course. The third very important reason, in fact, about the course is that we often see that in the students' minds, or even sometimes the parents, or sometimes the other stakeholders, we see that there have been a huge bias about a type of skill education course and the type of gender for which it is suited. However, multi-skill foundation course has been designed in such a way that it gives equal opportunity to both boys as well as girls to pursue the skills which they are interested in. Like, for example, we see often that the courses such as automotive, electronics, these are the courses often where boys are encouraged to, apply and enroll themselves. Whereas courses such as beauty, wellness, healthcare, we see girls are often encouraged only to apply to those courses. But here in this particular course, all the 5 units that you see, whether you are a boy or a girl, you will still do carpentry, construction, or plumbing. And whether you are a boy or a girl, you will still be engaged into gardening, you will be still learning about food processing. And that's what we believe, that early on in that age, the importance of gender equity and making your career choices which are not limited, because of your gender. I think that exposure and that opportunity, especially to our girl student, can be provided through multi-skill foundation course. That's the third reason why we would like to suggest you for the multi-skill foundation course. The fourth reason is that, as I think I shared with you, with the help of some pictures, but we will delve a little bit deeper on this again, is that the course provides an excellent opportunity for learning by doing. Again, national education policy has highlighted that we would like to emphasize on conceptual understanding rather than rote learning or learning just for the purpose of exams. But again, the course has been designed in such a way that there is a theoretical element, but the core focus is that learning those concepts using the practical activity, hands-on activity. So you will see all the course material which is available again on the CBSE website. There are specific practicals which are being included as a part of the course material. So here is some example. If we are teaching students about drip irrigation system, which is part of again gardening, nursery and agriculture techniques, which we teach as a part of multi-skill foundation course, they are not learning it only through theory, but they are actually preparing a drip irrigation system. And through that, they're not only learning the vocational skill of preparing a drip irrigation system, but they're also learning science concepts such as force of gravity. They are estimating the volume of water which will be required in the bucket. They are determining the length of pipe. They are preparing the raw material that will be required for them. They will be making a list of that. And most importantly, they will be carrying out these activities in a group of 4 or 5 students, which is again learning them about the concepts of teamwork. And that's all through a learning by doing approach, where a student can really enjoy and make the whole experience interesting for the students. Here is the second example. We are teaching students about the concept of blood pressure, but again by directly also learning about how to measure blood pressure. There is the importance of blood pressure, low blood pressure, high blood pressure, its impact, but the core technical skill of also measuring blood pressure will also be covered as a part of the curriculum. We often teach engineering drawing to the students, basics of engineering drawing, measurements and proportions. But what if we ask students that you are only learning it and not only for only a paper, but what if you are actually measuring a particular room in your house and with the measurement devices, and then preparing a layout of your own house or a layout of a multi-skill lab itself, can be prepared by the students. The next example, again, you can see here, this is a real examples of students who are currently enrolled in multi-skill foundation course. As a part of workshop and engineering techniques, they learn about construction, plumbing, and plastering techniques. And here what they are doing is that they have prepared a ramp in the school, and through that they are learning about these vocational skills, but at the same time they are also learning the practical applied Pythagoras theorem. They are learning about how to estimate the slope. They are learning about the laws of motion, how to prepare this mixture of cement, sand, and water. And also at the same time, there is this life skill of patience, because an activity like this will require you to, the principle of curing, where you will have to take care of this for a period of almost a week at least. And I think that brings in the ownership of the students in the social infrastructure of the school. And that's where they also learn the value of the patience to be able to achieve something over the period of long term. And the last reason that we would like to say, why multi-skill foundation course is that apart from this interdisciplinary knowledge of science, maths, and vocational skills, everything that you will be learning through this course are certain lifelong, like basic life skills. So if you are learning about cooking, you're not only learning about it to be able to make a food product, but you're also understanding the gender equity concepts through that. Here are some examples. Every single activity or every practical that is included in the course, students will be performing it as a part of a team, as a part of a groups of students. And that's where they will be learning about teamwork. We have examples, again, as I had already discussed about the gender. But here is the example of a students who are basically cleaning their own lab. He's cleaning the gas stove after completing the practical. Many of our students, their parents are also engaged in these different professions, but it is very important to teach students the dignity of labor. I think especially during the time of pandemic, we all of us have learned the importance of all of us doing our own household works, whether it is plumbing or whether it is any household cleaning as well. I think very early on in the age of 15, 16, if we are not able to only like talk about dignity of labor to the student, but through real life examples, through these practicals, through day-to-day experiences, we can teach students about these values such as the gender equity, or in this case the dignity of labor. I think that's the opportunity that is provided by the course. Here is another example. I think often you might have seen that the students in this age group have, at the adolescent age, there can be very aggressive behavior, and we often see sometimes the students even breaking off the benches. But the schools where multi-skill foundation course is being run, here you will have an opportunity, because students here will not be breaking benches, but here whatever they have learned in carpentry, they will be applying it to be able to repair those broken benches. There have been many such examples where students are basically repairing the benches. They are also repairing certain basic electrical connections in the schools, while also taking care of all the safety of their health under supervision of their vocational teacher. I think those were some of the 5 important reasons, for starting multi-skill foundation course. I would also like to show you quickly about how a typical, probably I think at this stage, can I just check, Raj, do you want to add anything at this stage?
No, I think unless there's some comments or anything from the participants, but we can go forward. Okay, thank you.
Yeah, okay, thank you, Raj. So here is some glimpse into how does a workshop which will be set up in your school premise for multi-skill foundation course looks like. So here is a picture of a multi-skill foundation course lab. This lab is right now the picture that I'm showing you is in the state of Tamil Nadu. This is a lab in one of the government school in Chennai. This is how typically a 20 by 20 square feet of a classroom can be converted into a multi-skill foundation course lab. It has these separate units that you can see on the left side. You can see there is a small corner around where the food processing related certain tools are kept. We have another unit of workshop engineering techniques. All the tools related to that have been displayed here. There are safety posters again that you can see here on the wall, just to ensure that for every single tool, every practical, students are aware about the safety, and the safety is reinforced through these instructions which are displayed in the lab itself. Uh, Here is another closer look of another lab. This particular lab that you are seeing right now is a lab from St. John High School in Chandigarh. It's a CBSE school which is implementing multi-skill foundation course for the last 2 years. Within the lab, there is this energy and environment section, different types of wires, which wires to use, what is the different wire codes. This particular section is for the gardening, nursery, and agriculture techniques. This is the food processing techniques section, which has basic tools as well as sink and water connection there. And this is how the overall lab looks like. Here is another picture of a small room in which basically the lab setup has been done for multi-skill foundation course. This lab is in the state of Uttarakhand. These are different parts within the lab, units within the lab. Here is a lab in action. This slide picture that you see here on the screen is a lab from one of the school in Sikkim. There are two important again elements within the lab. There is a separate section within the lab which is constructed, which is basically all the safety related tools, right? Like the helmets and gloves, aprons, welding shields. All of these are basically part of the tools and equipments itself, which are available again also part of the curriculum. All the tools and equipment list has been available on the CBSE website. So when you are basically procuring all the tools and equipments, along with that, you will receive all these safety tools. But within the lab, there is a separate dedicated section for all the tools related to safety. There is also fire extinguisher, first aid box, which are again integral parts of the multi-skill foundation course labs. So in order to implement the multi-skill foundation course, I think there are few basic essentials. One of the most essential thing is that in order to make sure that the students are actually, are able to complete the entire curriculum and are able to do the hands-on practical activities, it is important that the time has been allocated for multi-skill foundation course within the school timetable itself. And I think this has already been done in multiple states in different ways. But what we suggest is that you should typically have around 3 hours of time allocated for multi-skill foundation course in a week. So ideally, this should be on preferably in a one block. Basically, that means that instead of having 45 minutes almost like for 3 or 4 days, what is ideal is that on a one particular day in a week, you allocate 3 hours for multi-skill foundation course. And this is important because what happens is that the course involves practical work. So it is important that the students get the time to complete a particular practical. In certain sections, such as food processing, it is not possible to do half of the recipe today and then come back again tomorrow to complete the half of the, the rest of the second half of the practical. So it is advisable that you allocate 3 hours per week, but ideally on a one particular day. The second requirement for starting of the multi-skill foundation course is that a lab is established, workshop is established in your school, and recommended area for a room is that around 400 square feet of room should be allocated for this. And for tools and equipment, as I mentioned, the list of the tools and equipments are already available as a part of the curriculum, which is already uploaded on the CBSE website. The third requirement as a part of the course is that a teacher who will be teaching multi-skill foundation course. And here you have an advantage because the course basically provides introductory exposure to the students among these multiple skills. So it's not that very advanced knowledge in each of this, carpentry, as I say, skill will be provided to the student, but it is more of an exposure that is being provided to students. So any teacher in the school who has a B.Ed degree and who is very interested with this learning by doing approach or experiential, like a way of teaching, those teachers can be given training in these 5 different units within multi-skill to be able to teach multi-skill foundation course. Or the another alternative is also that.
Sanket, you may
Yeah,
like to mention our experience with Dalai Lama schools that we are doing, right?
Yeah. Yes, yes. So I think one of the example is that we have Tibetan School Administration, which has multiple of its own CBSE affiliated schools, and some of the schools in the state of Karnataka from Tibetan School Administration have basically registered for multi-skill foundation course. And when we oriented these teachers from the school, we saw a great interest among the teachers, existing teachers of the school, to be able to teach this particular subject. So based on their areas of interest, multiple teachers in the school have identified particular units within the course which they would like to teach. And they are receiving training. They will be receiving a training as a part of the multi-skill foundation course to be able to teach this subject. In fact, through CBSE only, CBSE had organized earlier also a training of the trainers in which all these Tibetan school administration teachers had undergone training. So there will be similar opportunities for training of the trainers for the teachers who are interested in teaching this particular subject. As of now, this particular course is being taught in 18 states. There are government schools as well as private schools in which the course is being implemented. More than 700 schools right now, are implementing multi-skill foundation course, and this also includes more than 60 CBSE schools, especially from the state of Delhi as well as from Sikkim. And we have more than 50,000 students who have appeared, who have enrolled themselves in multi-skill foundation course. In order to apply for this, for if you are a new school which wants to implement multi-skill foundation course as a skill subject, then there is a website cbseacademic.nic.in, and within which there is a skill education section where you can find all the resources that you may need related to multi-skill foundation course. There is a curriculum that is available. There are books which are available. There is a sample question papers which are also available, and there is a scheme of marks and other required documents are also available. However, if you are a new school, want to register, then there is a CBSE has a process basically for you to register for a new skill subject. You can fill the Google form. The links have been mentioned here on this website link. You can note down the link here for your own reference. And after clicking this, after submitting this form, you will be basically registering for the skill subject through which you can officially start teaching the multi-skill foundation course to the students in your school. I think we understand that this being a new course, there have been multiple, there can be queries that you may have. And CBSE website itself has lots of resources for all of you to access. With partnership with CBSE, there have been trainings for multi-skill foundation course, which have also happened in the past, and there will be few, which will be happening in future as well. But apart from that, we would also like to share with you that as an organization, Lend Hand India, we support multiple schools and governments, state governments, with no financial cost for any technical or knowledge help that you will need for implementation of multi-skill foundation course. This can be even any knowledge support for training of the teachers who will be teaching multi-skill foundation course, curriculum, course material, all of that is already available on CBSE website. But even in the implementation of the same, if you have any queries, then you can visit us. Uh, there is also, I understand that when first time a lab is set up, there can be queries around how to go about the tools and equipment, how to set up the lab, what are the different units, how they need to be placed, how the safety of the students needs to be taken care. In all of these areas, if you have any technical or knowledge support, then we are also sharing here the email ID of Lend Hand India, where you can write to us, and we will be very happy to help you with any support that you may need without any financial cost to the school or to any other organization. So yeah, I think that's the overall information that we wanted to share with you, and we have, I think, some time for question answers. Or I would like to check with Raj sir if you would like to, Raj, add anything here.
Thank you, Sanket. And Rajji, if you have few words for us, then please. Otherwise, I will call RP Singh sir. He is Joint Secretary, Skill Education CBSE, to come on this line and speak few words for us, please.
Sure. No, no, I would love to hear from Mr. Singh here. Thank
Okay.
you.
Singh sir, please come. I think there is an issue with connectivity. So Rajji, please you continue, and then probably when as and when sir will join, I'll invite him.
Sure. Thank you everybody, and that was the presentation we wanted to share with you regarding the multi-skill foundation course. It has been running in aided schools, CBSE schools, government schools as well, and very popular amongst the students too, right? And even Sanket, in Chandigarh we are running this program in St. John's School, right?
Yeah.
There.
Yes. Yes.
Okay.
So we have basically one of the, again, like a very renowned school in the country, which is St. John's School in Chandigarh. We have an experience of basically students enjoying this particular course. In fact, it was one of the 2 years ago when they started implementing the course. It was one of the first school which started implementing multi-skill foundation course, and we have seen a huge response from the students in terms of the enrollment. We saw that initially there were 18 or 20 students who had enrolled for multi-skill foundation course. But I think seeing these students complete these practicals, the other students, inviting the other students to come to these classes, demonstrating them those practical activities, sometimes even making those food processing practicals and making the products, and then having showcasing and exhibiting the products that they have made to the other students, other teachers in the school. This, all of this has created a huge momentum for skill education, huge interest among the parents as well as among the students. And now we see that the enrollment of the student and interest of the student has been growing steadily, because this is something that a student is able to perform by with their hands, and there is something that they will be able to articulate and share it with share their experiences with their parents as well as with their friends. And that is, I think, very unique thing about the course, that you are able to articulate your experience, and that has helped the other students to also enroll in multi-skill foundation course.
Thank you, Sanketji. I would also like to add few words. Okay, before I do that, I'll request RP sir to please come on and say few words.
Thank you, Swati, and big thanks to Rajji and Sanket, sorry, for this session. And I was going through the session and looking at what the presentation was going on, and it was very informative. And in the meanwhile, I also looked at the data of the schools who have registered for the next year. The data is very encouraging. We have around 70 plus schools who have registered their students in class 9 for next year. So that gives us a big base to work on, and we have a lot of students who will be taking up this course. And I would like to urge to all the participants principals and the teachers to popularize this course. Have a look at the content, have a look at the study material. You can share your feedback with the resource team that is there, and maybe take up this course. This course is named as multi-skill and will help in developing a lot of skills among the students. Not only vocational skills, but if you look at the component of the employability skills, which is taking around 10% of the whole marks, it has green skills, it has 21st century skills, it has team building, it has got communication, it has got IT, it has got environmental skills. So a lot of skills get built up. And as for NEP, the focus is on building skills, which are in terms of vocational skills or life skills in a student. So this gives a very good opportunity for the students to learn something during their academic years and then go on to build on it as they progress in their academic career. The CBSE has 18 such subjects in class 9th and 10th and offers vocational modules in classes 6 to 8 also. So these are 9 modules which are available, and it goes on to 38 subjects in class 11th and 12th which the CBSE is offering under the gambit of skill education. So all the schools who are participating in this program, I would request to go through the content, have a look at what the material tells you, give us your feedback, join us in this skill education movement, and take your students to have building their skills and developing the 21st century skills for the future, so that not only they progress in their academic careers, but also they have skills in hand which will help them in their future life. Thank you, and all the best to Rajgir and Swati for organizing this program. I can see a lot of people joining in and benefiting from this program, and all the best to Swati for this initiative, and we hope to have a lot of such programs in the future.
Thank you so much, sir. And I also take this opportunity to inform the schools that, as per the NEP, we need to have a lot of courses that are taught in experiential learning way or through practical knowledge. So this is one of those courses which can be, aligned with your physics, chemistry, bio, and so many other science and social science subjects, where you can actually teach them practical in a way that is practical. You're not going to take them into a lab and just give them little pipettes and then do their experiments. They can go out of the classrooms. They can learn about the Pythagoras theorem that sir was talking about, motion, gravity, relativity. Everything can become through this course. So this course is one of those courses which can cater to a lot of practical needs of various academic subjects. So you can also take it as a subject which will enhance your NEP and your students' understanding of a subject. Secondly, sir has joined, so we are now moving on to the question answer sessions. And I would request the participants who are present today in the GMeet to please put up your questions on the chat boxes, and those who are joined us with YouTube, which is a huge number, to please put up their questions through their chats available. And I can see a lot of chats and there are a lot of questions I have written in between. So I'll be answering them and putting up to sir also. So all those, please keep on writing your questions on the chat box. There is a question from Vimal S, which says that I'm from High Range School, Mannar, Kerala. I have a doubt. How many practicals we have to complete for class 9th and 10th? Do we have to keep a record? Is there external examiner for 9th and 10th?
Yeah, so I think I'd like to go with that. I think so. There are more than 30 practicals which are covered over the period of 2 years in 9th and 10th grade. In terms of the record, I think it is very important, see, from the understanding from a student point of view, that we don't want them to just mechanically perform the practical. What is important is the student reflecting on that practical and is able to write down those reflections in the journal. So we call it as a portfolio of a student over the period of 1 year in 9th grade and in 10th grade. A student is writing down what they have learned from that particular activity, what is the procedure that they have carried out while making a particular product, and what is the, like the challenges that they encountered, what raw material did they use in making this practical. All of this comes together in the form of a portfolio, And this is the portfolio that students basically prepare. It's basically like a notebook for a student, a journal for a student, in which they will noting down these reflections. So that is the record basically that the student will be required to keep it as a part of the implementation of this course. Yeah, I think there is a second part of your question, which is that is there external examination? So I think in the 10th grade, there is no external examination, and Singh sir can correct me if I'm wrong. Right now in the 10th grade, there is a 50% weightage, which is for theory examination, where the theoretical, appearing for the CBSE board, and the remaining 50% marks, which is 50 marks, is the internal examination, which is carried out by the teacher who is teaching the subject.
Sanket, you are right. As of now, we don't have an external examiner in class 9th and 10th. But on a friendly ground, if the school wants to invite somebody from a neighboring school, we are open to that. But officially, we don't have an external examiner. The internal does all the evaluation work and maintains proper record.
Yeah. Thank you, sir.
All right.
I also
All
see
right.
some of the comments where I think we see that some of the teachers or probably principals have shared their names of the schools. I just wanted to share, I see here school principal from Principal Imperium Public School, Nainital, Uttarakhand. Just wanted to share that very close to sir, your school, we do have, there are schools which are implementing multi-skill foundation course in Haldwani itself. I think you may want to visit the schools nearby where a multi-skill foundation course is being implemented. We also see a school principal from Karnal, Nishan Public School, who has joined. Again, in Haryana, there are 14, 15 schools which have already been implementing multi-skill foundation course. One of the school is in fact in Chandigarh. So the course, as I mentioned, is right now in 18 states. It is being implemented. So in order to even get the first-hand experience, you can also visit some of these schools in the state to find out more about information about it.
All right, Sanket, there is a question which is keep on repeating on YouTube chat, and that is if we apply for this course immediately, then can we start it? Will we get the permissions immediately? I think RP sir, you are.
Yeah, once they apply, they get an interim reply from our side that they can start. The official approval is sent to them in around 10 to 15 days. But currently, because of pandemic, there has been a backlog of previous cases, so there's a delay in sending the formal approval. But we send the email immediately, so if they apply, they can start.
Okay. There is another question which is coming up, sir. From which class do we need to start this course, and what will be the practical difficulties in starting this course?
Swati would be the right person to answer it.
From class 9th and 10th, I think.
Yeah.
And the practical difficulties, I think Sanket will be the right person.
Well, I think, as I mentioned, like there are 700 schools which are implementing the course. So I think there are, I would not say like there are any such a practical difficulties which will stop you from implementing the course. Most of the challenges, since like many years this course is being implemented across multiple schools, but typical challenges probably right now it's a month of February. So if you are looking for starting this course in the month of April or May when the academic year begins, then probably one of the most important practical challenges for you is to act immediately in terms of registering for multi-skill course, and then also get the interest of the teachers in your existing school who would like to teach the subject, get them trained, and simultaneously start working on the establishing of the lab. So I would say the course entire material, everything has been set, so there are no challenges on that part. The challenge more right now will be on the next 3 months. How do you prepare yourself for your school to be able to start this particular multi-skill foundation course?
So now that you have spoke about teachers training, Sanket, I'm getting a lot of questions that from where we will get these teachers trained. So first of all, we can start with teachers qualification and then maybe teachers training.
Yeah. So I mentioned about, I think in the presentation about the teacher's qualification, that the level of mastery that is expected from the student in this particular course is very basic. At 9th and 10th grade, we are only giving them an exposure of the different skills. So there is a carpentry, construction, plumbing. That doesn't mean that we are making student an expert in every single of the training. This is a level 1, level 2, 9th and 10th grade course. So that's why the existing teacher from the school with a B.Ed degree can also be trained with the basic technical knowledge can be given to them so that they are able to teach this particular subject. And that's the model where multiple schools are already following this, including the example that I shared with you about Tibetan school administrations and their affiliated 4 schools which are affiliated with CBSE. But apart from that, the other option which is also is that the ITI or diploma in electrical or mechanical engineering candidates, if you are going for a fresh recruitment of a teacher specifically for this particular subject, then those technical background candidates might also be something that who will need basic training to be able to teach multi-skill foundation course. And who will do the training? I think, of course, we would be happy to do that in partnership, in collaboration with CBSE. We have done that before. There was previously, just 2 months ago, we had organized a training for, in partnership with CBSE, had organized the training for multi-skill foundation course, which was attended by, I think, close to 110 schools had participated in attending that training. So similarly, there will be, in future, there will be trainings which we can organize.
There's one more question.
If I can add here, sorry, just
Sure. Please, sir, go ahead.
here. One thing is in terms of the teachers, this is a great program to get your community involved. Because you're sure that some of your parents who might be knowing these skills, very expert gardeners, very expert healthcare professionals, very expert, sort of technical people as well in your school, as well as in the community around. So inviting them as a guest lecturer to do the practicals and teaching that can be one way for you to connect with the community, right? That is one thing. And secondly, in terms of the teacher training as well, once this pandemic is over, we can also do teacher training in clusters, so we can have one school where the program is already running, or sort of somewhere where the teachers can come for the physical training as well as we are doing it, before the pandemic hit, right? In that sense, so we can organize such training in the clusters as well, where the schools from nearby 10-15 schools can come together and we can provide such training to the teachers as well. Thank you.
Okay, there is one more question which says that some of the new schools who want to foray into this course want the name of some of the schools where the courses are already being run. So in this case, Sanket, I would just like to tell everybody that we have now a channel for COE Noida, which is continuously going to put up, a lot of videos for vocational. So this we have started with today. This is a live session that is going on YouTube. So similarly, if you could provide me some videos, I will put it through my channel so that it goes to the public, and we will circulate the links so that people can see it and they can understand that yes, there are schools who have started with this course successfully, and so they will also get motivated.
That's a very good initiative, Swati. And Raji also has a lot of videos, and he has been doing this for a lot of schools and other initiatives. And he can help us in getting videos of other subjects also. So if both of you could coordinate, then we can populate the channel with a lot of videos.
Absolutely, sir. And there is one more query. I'm so sorry. There are a lot of people asking they want to start it with lower classes now. So is there any future for chances of that happening?
Raji.
Yes. So actually, we have had a lot of sort of requests for that as well. And as we all know, even national education policy talks about introducing skill education with grade 6th grade onward. So we are actually developing a lighter version of multi-skill foundation course, right, which can be age appropriate for the 6th, 7th, and 8th grade students as well. So Mrs. Gupta, Mr. Singh will be happy to share that as well, and we can work it out. How do we do it for
Raji, me and you need to have a meeting after this meeting so that we can work out how it can be sorted out. But meanwhile, while you were giving a suggestion, that has given us a lot of hope that if the principals can invite their own head gardener of the school to give a session to the students, so that will have a very positive impact. Maybe the gardener takes them to the field, introduces them to the flowers and all those things in the school. That's going to be a very good initiative by the school also. And maybe they can,
Yeah.
on their own, if they want, they can start in class 6, 7th and 8th also. CBSE
Yeah.
will help them if they need anything, and we have a team of people who can help them in any case.
Raji, I have a suggestion. You know, you can really weave this course with the academic courses and the content that is being taught, because this is a beautiful way of learning experientially through all the subjects that we are taught. You
Yes.
know, flowers and all. We are taught that in botany and bio at lower levels. You know, petals and
Yeah. Yeah.
stigma and
Yeah.
that. So my mother used to teach me. She bought a flower and she taught me. She was a botany person. So I understood
Mhm.
what is flower. Otherwise, I could not understand whole my life what
Wow.
was flower. You know what is inside that. So
Yeah.
this is a beautiful course. I am really my congratulations to you and Sanket ji for bringing up such wonderful course to CBSE. And
Thank you.
there are a lot of questions coming on teachers training, teachers, qualification. So I would request you to please give us an FAQ so that we can also post it in our YouTube. And for all
Okay.
the participants who are viewing us, this has been recorded and it will be placed on the YouTube forever. So whenever you feel like knowing something and you don't know how to reach us or you're not able to reach us, just play this video. You have all your questions answered in the
Yeah.
presentation.
Yeah.
And
If I can make one quick comment here, to your point about academics, combining academic and the
hmm,
practicals here. I was just sharing some with somebody other day that a simple practical of making a table in carpentry, right? What all it can involve. One is
yes,
the design of the table, right?
exactly.
Maybe Mughal के ज़माने में वो table, round होता था. It will have more carvings and other things too. And now if you look at the all wall black color, squarish, functional table, right? So that's a history, how people have changed their taste over a period of time. You look at key now, what type of wood are you going to use to make that
Yes,
table?
yes.
Kerala में different करेंगे, Delhi में different करेंगे, Maharashtra में different. That's a geography and the atmosphere, for us, right? You will see कि अगर center of gravity apply करना है, उसके बिना तो टेबल खड़ा ही नहीं रहेगा. It will not stand on its feet, right? So that's the center of gravity in physics for you. If you want to table to look good, you will polish it, you will paint it. That's a chemistry for you. Which kind of chemical I use, which kind of for
Absolutely.
preservation in eco-friendly. So I think each and every practical can be combined with things which you are learning in the sort of academic subject as well. So thank you for giving us the opportunity to share.
Thank you, sir. Thank you for being here. Now I will request Usha ji to please come on screen. Arti sir, do you have any parting words for us?
All the best to Raji and look forward to getting a lot of inputs from you, and all the best Swati for this lovely session.
Thank you,
And
sir.
my best wishes to all the principals and teachers for the exams, and look forward to having applications coming from you to us for
Thank
introducing
you.
this course.
Thank you so much, sir, for your kind words and your presence. Usha ji, if you are there on with us,
हाँ, नमस्कार, आप सभी को नमस्कार. मैं धन्यवाद करना चाहूंगी हमारे जो आज के गेस्ट टीचर थे, राज गिल्डा जी को, for such an informative session and sparing her his valuable time with us. Thank you so much. और मैं धन्यवाद करना चाहूंगी आरपी सिंह जी का. अपना हमेशा मैं मिस्टर कूल कहती हूँ इनको, और जो अभी ये प्रैक्टिकल प्रॉब्लम्स कह रहे थे उनको आएंगी, तो मैं इनको कहना चाहूंगी कि आप जो मेलिंग एड्रेस आरपीजी देते हैं उसमें जाइए और तुरंत उनका जवाब होता है. सबसे फास्ट कम्युनिकेशन है मुझे लगता है हमारे वोकेशनल डिपार्टमेंट का, आरपीसी का. तो आपको कोई भी प्रॉब्लम कहीं नहीं आएगी. थैंक यू सो मच सर फॉर स्पेयरिंग योर वैल्यूबल टाइम. थैंक यू सो मच. और मैं धन्यवाद करना चाहूंगी संकेत पटेल जी का. इतना अच्छा उन्होंने हमें सेशन दिया, प्रेजेंटेशन दिया. थैंक यू सो मच संकेत जी. और लास्ट बट नॉट लीस्ट, स्वाति मैम का जो हमारी हेड है, उन्होंने इसको सोचा और इसको इम्प्लीमेंट किया. मैं आते ही धमाका मचा दिया मैंने तो ये काम वोकेशनल के लिए. तो ऑल द बेस्ट टू अस आल्सो, और ऑल द बेस्ट participants who are here. Thank you so much. Thank you so much.
thank you, Usha ji, for your kind words. And with this, I would request closure to this meeting and this session today. But this is first and not going to be the last, certainly. So we'll meet again. Thank you so much. Namaskar.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you so much, sir, for this wonderful session. I request all the participants to kindly mark the attendance. The link is available in the chat box. After that, please quit this session. Thank you. Thank you all the participants for watching us on YouTube. Thank you so much.